guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome in general if you are new. Today we're going to be doing a cleaning video. We're going to be in my craft room and it really needs some TLC. If you guys saw my last cleaning video, this was the one thing that I did not get to, and this room needs it so badly. There's just like random things everywhere. There's not a lot of organization. There's some things in place and others not. Like, we really just need to go through, find a good place for everything, and just clean out all of the junk that is in here because it's really bad. As I mentioned, we were supposed to do this in my last cleaning video. If you missed that one, I will have it linked in the description if you want to check that out. It's like a full house sort of clean with me, lots of chores to be done, lots of decluttering. And if you're new, make sure that you subscribe down below for new homemaking, DIY, and home decor videos every single week. Give the video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below if you are going to be cleaning with me today. And I believe that is everything. I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of a tour of what we have going on, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so this is what we are working with. At first glance, it's not too bad. I just have a few things to take care of. Packaging for my ring light, which we're going to be using a lot today because it's very gloomy. So if you see any shadows or anything, that would be why. But yeah, so just a few things out of place. Those paints obviously need to go in a bin. There's one like that somewhere around here. And then there's a few things up here. I have a few DIY projects, some sealants, and just random stuff. This shelf really needs some TLC. I'm pretty sure there's literally dirt in that container, so we need to get rid of that. I have some pipe cleaners to get put away, some random flowers I don't really know what to do with, and then just some miscellaneous cords that need to be tucked in. So I may have mentioned this in other videos, but I can't really remember. My dad actually uses this as his in-home office. He's in the office today, which is why I'm doing it today, but he has his big desk. Looks like he has a blanket too. Probably gets a little bit cold down here, and this takes up a good portion of the room. Like, you just walk in and it's right there. So I'm not really going to be touching this because this is his area to organize. And then over here you may notice that there's a little Darth Vader, and that is courtesy of my dad. So, you know, he's just chilling over here. And then over here, excuse really random messy setup here, but I have my ring light and my tripod sitting up there, but I have some chairs and things. That table used to be sort of like turned this way and sort of just like in the middle of this space, but I kind of like it right there. I'm not gonna lie, I might move it up a little bit just because there's kind of a big gap here. I think it might be fun to do sort of like a desk style thing. And then that just needs to be thrown away. Random paper, a rag from cleaning something, I assume, and that is pretty much it. So first things first, I think I want to get started on the shelves and everything, just sort of find places for all the odds and ends. I'll kind of go shelf by shelf and try to figure out places for them to go, clean off the shelves and everything, get all the dust and everything off of there, and we will go from there. Also, this door is broken, so that's why it doesn't close all the way. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So as soon as I started this project, I realized it wasn't as daunting as I made it out to be. I also found this Jedi poster that I think my dad wanted to keep for some reason, so I'm just gonna set that off to the side for him. And we're just starting by going through these shelves. I'm starting at the very top, taking down all of the things that aren't good anymore. I had some paint that was no good anymore. It was completely hard and unusable. Got rid of that dirt and dusted off the shelves. So this was a very routine sort of clean. The main thing was to go through everything and put it back in a way that made a little bit more sense. Looked a little bit better because I know that these shelves are open, so I like to make them look as tidy as possible with minimal effort and just organize it in a way that's very functional. It's very easy to access these if I need to, but they're not things that I use all the time, that they need to be eye level or very easy to reach. So structurally, or I guess organizationally, I didn't really change anything. I just wanted to give everything a revamp and make sure everything had a home. Now the next shelf from the top, you will see that I have a bunch of bins. You'll also notice that one is missing. This one was over on the floor, and I thought now would be a good time to go through it. So this is my paint bin. This is where I keep all of my different paints. And if you're wondering, Americana is my favorite by far. Anything like Apple Barrel, I think is what it's called, that is very sheer and just not a very good paint. If you're trying to do a canvas or even a ceramic or something like that, I find that Americana is the best. But as I was saying, I keep all my paints, palettes, brushes, sponges, things like that in here. So first I wanted to go through and see which ones were empty and get rid of those. I have a bad habit of holding on to just little bits of paint, and I'm finally just gonna be getting rid of those. And this is an extra step that I don't necessarily keep organized and tidy all the time, but I do like to color coordinate them sort of in a rainbow order. So I'm putting all the reds together, pink, sinks, and then I'll sort of show you guys how I line that up in the bin. And that brings me to an organizational tip that I have for this room. If I have a lot of little things like these paints, I really like to be able to corral them in a space. And generally I find that if I were to maybe even stack these on a shelf, even if they were all lined up, I feel like that's kind of hard to maintain. So even if the paints in this bin are all messed up, not everything has a place, from the outside it still looks tidy. And I feel like that's a tip that you can bring all through your home. So if you have a bunch of little things, maybe try to corral them in one spot, such as a bin, maybe a jar, a cabinet, or a box, and then make sure you just label it. That way you know what it is, especially since these bins aren't necessarily eye level. I can see them eye level, but I can't see into them. It's really nice to just be able to tuck everything away, but everything has a home. That way it doesn't get messy or out of control really fast. Now for the area of the shelves that tends to be the drop zone, just because it's right below eye level and it's really easy to set things on. So I'm just going to be taking care of a few things. I'll have like my sisters or family borrow things from here, and then I'll just lay them there, or they'll lay them there because they don't know what to do with them. So just a lot of things just need to be put in their spaces. So the very first thing I'm doing is taking off everything and giving it a good clean. One thing I wanted to mention about these shelves is that they are just untreated pieces of wood. I got these a couple years ago. It was actually in 2020 when we were all at home. I believe we did like a curbside pickup of these at Menards, and they're just this untreated piece of wood. I don't mind how they look right now, but I feel like down the road I would like to stain them or something. I feel like that would just look really nice, and maybe put like a nice lacquer on them just so they're really easy to wipe down. But for now, with the blue on the wall, I feel like it actually complements it really well. And this is a really good hack if you have wire shelving like this. I came up with this idea in the first place because everything was falling through the cracks, and it was just really easy to set things exactly where I wanted them. So I feel like this is a really inexpensive solution to that problem. And now just putting everything back, I'm using my little riser to put all of my utensils and things in their places. I'm refilling jars, finding places for all the odds and ends, and straightening everything up. Now on to our last couple shelves. This is where I keep my storage cabinet that I made out of burlap, cardboard, and lots of glue. You may remember that video, I think, from last year. So that's where I keep all my vinyl. I also keep some sandpaper in there, as well as my roll of burlap, and I also keep my Cricut up here, along with a few other various utensils like pencils, old paintbrushes, and things like that. So I'm doing the same thing as I did to the other shelves, sort of taking everything off, dusting everything down, including my Cricut, and just straightening everything up. I'm also getting rid of some of the things that I don't use all the time. I think I had a jar in there that I tucked away. I think that's something really important to mention about organization. It really develops with you, and I don't really think that there is a 100% perfect way to organize everything for anyone. Being a DIYer and a crafter, I know that things change, my tastes change, and I really have loved having this space that evolves with me, and it's really easy to change to exactly what I want it to be. And then the bottom I didn't really do much to. I just sort of straightened everything out, and now we're just going to be readjusting where this table sits. As I said, I sort of had this centered off to the side of the room, but I found that I really like this desk style. And another thing you may notice is that I do have craft paper on my table. This table is really old, so I try to protect it. And if I ever sit down to do a DIY video, I really like having the neutral flat background. So that's what that was. And last but certainly not least, we're going to be giving this room a good vacuum. Being that it is in the basement, there's lots of little cobwebs, little bugs and things. Not a lot, but there are a few that you need to keep up with as time goes on. That's just how it is in Michigan. I feel like I have definitely learned to just be okay with it and let it be. But generally speaking, I feel like that sort of thing hasn't been a really big problem, just because I use this room all the time. And like I said, my dad uses this as his office, but I think a routine vacuum is never a bad idea. So here is the final product of how it turned out. I feel like it looks so much better. The sun came out the next day and it was beautiful. I just love the way everything looks together. I feel like like it's aesthetic, but it's also just very functional. Everything has a place, and it's just really nice to give this room a reset. Overall, this really didn't take me, I think, more than a couple hours. It really was not as bad as I thought, and I just love the way that it turned out. So if you got some cleaning motivation today, make sure that you leave a comment down below. I hope you got some inspiration. Maybe you got some ideas for your own organization, for your own home. Maybe you have a crafting space of your own and you just wanted to get a few easy hacks. A lot of the things that I've done in this room are very budget friendly. A lot of the containers and things are thrifted, and I've really just made the best with what I have. So make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. I feel like this is definitely a big transformation from where we started. Alright you guys, that about wraps up today's video. The sun finally came out, so I was able to show you guys the room in its full glory, and it just feels so good to have it refreshed. And it really didn't take as long as I thought it was going to. It just needed a nice reset, and it's just so much cleaner, tidier in here, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. With that being said, make sure that you subscribe down below for new homemaking, DIY, and home decor videos every single week, and give the video a thumbs up if you really enjoyed it. If you cleaned with me today, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I believe that's everything. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Bye guys.